What's up, everyone? I'm Spencer with Finish Your Secrets, and today we're going to propose a challenge, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's talk about building habits. It's super hard. A lot of times you get started on building habits and you sort of forget why you're even doing it, or there's too much friction when starting the habit to even get started. So how can we create habits that stick and enjoy the process of doing so? Let me start with a story. Many of you probably know of a comedian named Jerry Seinfeld. Now, I could tell you that he made $267 million in a single year, or that Comedy Central rated him in the top 100 comedians of all time. But for the purposes of this video, all you need to know is very successful man. And let me tell you, you're not the first to be wondering how he made so much money and was so successful. In fact, let me tell you a little story. So I'm going to read to you a conversation that Jerry Seinfeld had with an up-and-coming comedian, as written on jamesclear.com. So Seinfeld said the way to be a better comic was to create better jokes, and the way to create better jokes was to write jokes every day. He told me to get a big wall calendar that has a whole year on one page and hang it on a prominent wall. The next step was to get a big red magic marker. He said, for each day that I do my task of writing a joke, I get to put a big red X over that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain. Just keep at it and the chain will grow longer every day. You'll like seeing that chain grow, especially when you get a few weeks under your belt. Your only job is to not break that chain. So that is the Seinfeld strategy. Now, the strategy works for two main reasons. One, as humans, we naturally like to check things off of a to-do list or a list of tasks. And each time we do, we get a tiny dopamine hit. And so we enjoy that feeling of checking something off or marking it off. Second, the longer you hold a streak of something, the higher the stakes are of failing to keep that streak going. So let me paint the picture for you this way. If you have a 66-day streak that you're trying to hold, and I'll get to the reason we're using 66 days here in a minute, and you've only been doing it for 5 days, it's a lot easier to stop the streak, to say, well, it's only been 5 days, I haven't really made any progress, I'm distracted by something, I'm gonna stop. However, if you've been doing this 66-day goal streak for 59 days, you're less likely to just throw it out the window because you've already come 59 days, you've come so far, and you're so close to the finish at 66 days. So the idea here is to let the dopamine hit and the good feeling of marking something off the list carry you to that point of no return where the stakes are too high for you to really want to quit doing this habit or this task. Okay, so I mentioned this just a second ago, but why 66 days? Studies have shown that it takes approximately 66 days to alter or establish a habit. So that's the basis for this 66-day Seinfeld strategy. It's designed to help people stay on track and to monitor their progress until that habit becomes second nature. Simple as that. So the number 66 days is an average. Some people it takes less to establish a habit, some people it takes longer, but usually that magic number is around 66 days. So I challenge all of you to join me in trying to keep a new habit, or inversely, maybe a habit you're trying to break, for 66 days. Now, how are we going to keep up with this? There are apps and things that you could use to do this, but in fact, we've put a free just download. In fact, here it is right here. One page thing you can hang up on the wall, put it next to your nightstand, whatever. It's 66 days. It makes a chain. You can cross them off, write your daily habit goal at the top and the starting date, and then even what you're going to reward yourself with for carrying this through to 66 days. So again, that's free down below. You can download that. I'm going to use mine, and we would ask that you update on how you're doing, how it's going, encouraging others down in the comments below. And then after 66 days, we'll meet back here and we'll talk about our results and how it went. Now, before we leave, there's a couple warnings that I want to leave you with. So one, it's good to start small. It's easier to do a habit that you feel pretty confident that you could hold for 66 days. Now, the idea is, say you want to become a writer or you want to write a book. Instead of saying, I'm going to write a chapter a day, which is kind of absurd for most people, especially if you're just starting out, or even a paragraph a day, it's way easier to say, I'm going to write one sentence every day so that you start to build the habit of writing every day. So start small and maybe think about it in terms of a habit that could lead you to a greater habit that you would like try and keep. So number 2 is less is more. And take it from me, one time I tried to establish like 12 new habits at a time, and I quickly lost sight of why I was doing it. I was overwhelmed and it was just a disaster. So the idea is less is more. Start with one habit to get in the habit of creating habits, So my habit I'm trying to establish is I want to write one sentence at least every day, highlighting the most important thing of that day. So usually that would be like work related on Monday through Friday. What did I accomplish today that's helping me towards my goals? And on the weekends, maybe it's just the most important highlight, what I did with my family that day or what I did for exercise, whatever it might be. So once a day, I want to write the highlight of the day, if that makes sense. So again, download your 66-day Don't Break the Chain PDF down below, print yours out and get started. The challenge starts now, and I will see you guys on the other side. Thanks for watching.